Hey there. So today we're going to do a video on making a power supply or a converter from a 20 volt drill battery so that we can run a 12 volt device or a radio or something off 13.8 volts. So for myself, I had dewalt tools, so that's what I chose, but you can choose whatever you want. If you want Milwaukee or Makita, doesn't really matter. But you'll probably have a battery around, so it can be just a handy little device that can give you a quick bit of power for if you want to do a low power radio, ham radio or something. And also we're going to add a USB charger in it so you can have USB power. So obviously what you're going to need first is an old charger or something that fits onto a battery. I found an old charger that didn't work, and then I had a buck converter that I got from Amazon, and also a USB charger. I chose one that goes 24 to 12 volts because then I could go directly to the 20 volt battery, and then it'll run more efficiently by not having to go through the buck converter. So what I did first is I drilled a hole for the USB charger. I believe it was 1.125 hole that it needed. I drilled a hole in the side of the charger so that I could put the USB charger in. It looked a little bit not real fancy, but it worked. So for the wiring, I soldered the wires of the USB charger directly onto the prongs that go onto the 20 volt battery, and I also soldered wires onto the same prongs that go to the buck converter and to the bottom of the buck converter. So that's the input, and then the top of the buck converter is the output. There is a potentiometer on the bottom of the buck converter that can be turned to give your desired voltage output. And then I also drilled a little hole in the case of the dewalt charger case so that I could adjust it without taking it apart. But you shouldn't have to adjust that very often. As you can see, there's a fuse on the wire that goes to the USB charger. That's important, I think. There's also a fuse in the line that goes out to the radio in case something would overload. But it worked out fairly well for a homemade project. I secured the USB charger with super glue. There was not enough room to put the nut and washer on, so I just did it with super glue, and that seemed to work out alright. So here's the finished product. There's a USB on the one side that I super glued in, and on the other side is the cable that comes out that goes on to the regular T cable. It has a fuse there for radio. It takes obviously 20 volt battery. Mine takes a dewalt. Then you can plug it right in there, and it converts it down to 12 volt or whatever you set it to, and 5 volt USB. The reason why I went direct on with the USB is because that allows me to monitor the voltage of the battery, and there is a power button on the USB that turns it on, and that will show the voltage of the 20 volt battery, so if I'm running a radio or something, I can see when the battery is getting low. There's also can also charge a phone there or whatever you wish to charge from USB. So a disclaimer, anything that's on this video may not be done safely. It may not be done the smartest way, It was just an amateur project of things I had around, and it was a way to get 13.8 volts from a 20 volt battery that I probably have around all the time if I would need something in a pinch or whatever. So thanks for watching, and hope you enjoyed it.